Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of On the Mic with Mehta. I'm joined by my Canadian co-host, Elio Canella. Elio, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Before we start, Elio has some rather sad news to report. Elio, do you want to take over?
So in 2010, I was looking at wrestlingvideo.com, and they switched over to Wrestling News Source, which I joined in 2011. And shortly after that, we had another news reporter, the co-founder, the founder of Wrestling News Arena, Sean Moniz, joined the team as a news reporter. And just this past week, he passed away after a long battle with lung cancer.
We here on the Mic with Mehta certainly wish Sean and his family and friends our condolences. And, you know, I'm really sorry to hear that. Moving on now, it's been an interesting week for WWE. What do you guys, yourself, Elio and Jake, what do you guys think of the Jason Jordan reveal as Kurt Angle's son?
I really don't have a problem with that, with the storyline. This is like, it's kind of cool. I like to see this Attitude Era type storyline back in 2017.
Definitely. Jake?
The thing that I see everyone jumping on with this is a little disconcerting to me. It's not the fact that it's a goofy storyline. It's the fact that Jason Jordan doesn't look like Kurt Angle.
Really?
That seems to be the biggest one that I'm seeing. Almost in kind of I hate to say this and be that guy, but in kind of a racist way. Like they can't fathom the fact that someone might have a mixed child.
Oh my God! I've
seen that everywhere.
I was deleting a lot of those ridiculous memes from the Facebook group.
Oh, I'm seeing like the Family Guy, My Black Son pictures like everywhere.
Yeah, that's terrible. Like, what's wrong with people?
Exactly. I mean, you know, he does look like Kurt Angle a little bit.
He did too. My wife was even like, they look a lot alike.
I even said it from the first time I saw him. I'm like, that he looks a lot like Kurt Angle.
Same here. I thought the same thing. So I thought it worked, like at least in terms of looks, worked well. Now, is the storyline itself a little goofy? Well, of course.
Sure.
I think the whole idea of it is a little goofy, but do you know what you're watching?
Right.
It's sports entertainment, right?
It's sports entertainment, and these same people will be like, "Well, I think it needs to be serious, and I think it needs to be because this is pro wrestling, but it isn't like it used to be anymore." And these same people will go watch PWG or Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, where I watched a clip the other day where they had a 10-minute spot where they each shoved their thumbs up each other's butts. And it's a manga line. I'm not joking with this. The 10 top Indian superstars in the entire
bad image.
Again,
now,
I think
granted, it's really funny, but don't act like you're on this pedestal of seriousness when I can also watch PWG and watch Kenny Omega and Daniel Bryan sing John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. I have a whole freaking intro dedicated to that. So I think it's a little silly when we want to act like, oh, this is so unrealistic.
Yeah.
And now, in my personal opinion, I think it's a huge push for Jason if it's done right.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a little scary to see where they go with it.
Yeah.
But it could be a huge push. Now, it was a little sad to see Jason go out there to literally no applause. That wasn't a very big pop for Jason.
The crowd was just like, there was no reaction, nothing noticeable. And I felt bad for Jason. I was just like, why? You know, this is, if we take the storyline for what it is, the man's just been reconnected with his father, you know?
Right.
Just have some kind of reaction, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But there was nothing.
There was nothing. And I think a lot of them also thought that it should have been Gable, but Here's the thing.
Oh, no. Gable looks nothing like him.
Exactly.
And that's the other thing. But I also think
point.
that Jason has more potential than Gable does. Now, I love Gable. I think he's great, but I think he's one of those guys that all his popularity relies on the fact that he's a great wrestler. With Jason, he's got almost everything you need. He's a fantastic wrestler. He's decent on the mic. He's a great looking guy. He's got a great body for that kind of character.
Yeah,
it works. And I always thought that Jason was going to be the one after he got over that hump of not having a personality in NXT, that he would be the star.
Well, I think it comes down to Jason needing to, because he has all the tools, as you just said. He has the physical tools, and he has elements of good character in there, but that needs to be brought out a bit more.
Yeah.
And I think now this is the chance for him to do that. Ilya, what do you think?
About Jason Jordan? I think they're like I was reading on the site, the plans are to push him as a mid card
I read that as well
over the next few months.
Yeah. Do you think that could work?
And with Kurt Angle being like a father figure, which how are you supposed to be a father figure if you are the father?
Well, yeah, that's true. But
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys think that could work? Jordan's mid card push?
I think it could work if it's done right.
Jake?
It all depends on what kind of road they want to go down. Is it going to be the road that they usually do when they introduce a new character and they squash a few people for a good 5-6 weeks, and all of a sudden they have the quintessential heel come out? I think that's what it's probably going to be. You're going to see him versus Kurt. You're going to see him versus Kurt Hawkins. I can bet money right now he's going to versus Kurt Hawkins next week. That's what's going to be, and he's going to verse him for probably 2 weeks. And I would be willing to also bet money that he would probably go up in a feud with probably Elias Sampson.
Sorry. What would happen to Kurt Hawkins? He they gave him that small push, and then as this with all those vignettes, and now he keeps losing in every match.
He's someone who's just there to put other talent over, and I don't understand all the time, as you said, in those promos that they spent just to have him come out and do that.
Well, right. I think they needed to reestablish a character for him. I think they always planned for him to be that jobber to the stars.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. Because, that was the way it was on day one. He lost his first match. So I really do think that's really what it always was meant to be. And that's fine. I never really dug Kurt Hawkins. I think he's okay. But you need jobbers. People hate to see people being jobbed and always want to see them live up to their fullest potential, but sorry, there needs to be a loser and there needs to be a winner.
Right. You can't have everyone winning all the matches all the time, because in order for someone to get over, that has to be at the expense of somebody else. It just doesn't. Right. It doesn't work. It doesn't work both ways. So, I do like Kurt Hawkins. I don't really share your dislike of him, but I don't like him.
It's not really a dislike. It's just it's like a meh. I'm indifferent about Kurt Hawkins.
So you're on the fence.
Yeah, I'm just he's there. There's a lot of people in WWE that are just there.
Yeah,
I see what you mean. I do see what you mean.
Don't call Damien Demento a jobber.
Oh gosh. Anyway, who right now? Because at the end of Raw, we saw Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns in that main event, which I think was a great match. Of course, the winner. Of course, the winner of that match would face Brock Lesnar. There was no winner.
Right.
Braun Strowman came in, interfered, and there was not a definitive conclusion. Where do you see them going with this storyline? Ilya, you first.
Fatal 4-way at SummerSlam. I never saw anyone manhandle Joe the way Braun Strowman did.
Right. Why would you say a fatal 4-way, Ilya?
Oh well, see, of course, Braun Strowman is still not finished with Roman Reigns. I don't know if he'll ever be.
I knew you were going to say that.
And then I think because I think they're going to put him in the title picture because he's been demanding a match against Brock for a while now as well.
Yeah. Jake?
I think the same thing. I think there's so much money in a fatal four-way with those four people.
Exactly.
And you got to give Raw and you got to give WWE credit for making those four guys seem like actual, or well, I guess three, but those three guys seem like actual threats to Lesnar. And fatal four-way between all four of them, just the idea of that. It's like this giant man witch. It's
right. It's awesome.
Of brutality. It's gonna be a freaking. It ain't gonna be a wrestling match. It's just gonna be people.
It's gonna be a fight.
Right.
It's not gonna be
a brawl.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be something like no one's ever seen before. I really do. I think it's a broad call, but I really do think because I can't remember the last time I seen a match like that. Now. You know, there was a time back in like the early 2000s, mid 2000s, where Vince was on his run of getting these giant men that can't wrestle. But now we're in this time where we're getting giant men that can.
Right.
So now we're gonna, because no one can tell me that when they saw Braun Strowman versus the Big Show, they didn't think, "Oh, this match is gonna suck," and then completely got surprised when they didn't burn down the roof. Once. They did it twice.
Right.
That was
match.
Braun and Big Show.
Yeah.
So
was that where the ring collapsed?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I must have missed that one because I was away for a few weeks.
It was a great match, but it wasn't a wrestling match, and people need to get unconditioned to the fact that a match just isn't just good if there's a lot of flippy stuff.
Exactly.
A lot of chain wrestling. There's different types, you know, and I think that's what we're gonna get here is just a straight up brawl.
Yeah, because
a lot of hits.
People haven't been accepting of the fact that there are wrestling matches and there are brawls, and there needs to be a separation between the two. You're not going to with these four men. I'll go out on a limb. You're not going to get a wrestling match. You're going to get, as Jake said, you're going to get a fight. You're going to get a brawl, and that's what people need to understand, and that's what they want to see.
Mm-hmm.
So you know it should be a great match, and people tend to forget this year that SummerSlam is heading into its 30th anniversary. I think WWE said that a couple of months ago. I'm not sure. I think it is. And what a main event for there to be.
Yes, I totally agree.
To celebrate that. It should be a great match. What about the women's division on Raw right now? How are you guys seeing that?
It's really sad too because they have such a great roster to work with.
Right.
But I think they're back in this habit of not really caring about what they do with the division because there's no better way to encapsulate it than the match that they had. I think it was 2 weeks ago where they did the gauntlet match, and you had Nia and you had Bayley start.
Yeah.
And you had Nia go over Bayley, which was supposed to be your face, your big top face. You already have your top heel, Alexa. She's killing it. You don't need to fix that. It's good.
Alexa's awesome.
Alexa's killing it.
Yeah.
Easily the most over woman probably in the WWE right now.
I would so agree with that.
Yeah, and she's doing great. But they took that whole match to put Nia over. And not just put Nia over everybody. She beat Bayley. Yeah. She beat Dana within 6 seconds. Yeah. She beat within 20. She beat Emma within 20. And she just ran through all these. And then it got to Sasha. She kicked her butt until she rolled her up. So what's the state of the division now?
I mean, you know, there's no problem for me in getting people over in terms of that way. We just talked about it, but you know, not at the expense of your entire division. That's
what they did.
Right.
All those people now they have no credibility because they just lost in like 20 seconds.
Emma's lost.
What's that?
Emma's lost. That all that hype that they had for her return.
Yeah,
I just don't think they had a plan.
Yeah.
The weeks and weeks of promos that they did, the vignettes they did on Emma, and then for her to come in and just be a non-factor. I hate to offend anybody, but a non-factor as she is. Not because of her fault, because of the way WWE has booked her, which is just sad.
Right.
I don't know. I don't get it. Do you think there's a way back for the women's division or not?
Yep.
And what would that be?
That would be Asuka.
Oh yeah.
I think everyone's thinking that she's going to go to SmackDown, and that would be a really bad call.
Yeah. She needs to be on Raw.
She needs to be on Raw, and I think she would make a great foil for either Alexa or Nia. I think there's a lot of money in a match with her and Nia.
Definitely.
But I think she's going to kill it on Raw. So, but they need to build up their other women. It's not like SmackDown right now, where SmackDown, they had women that people didn't really care about, and they built them up to make us want to care. With Raw, they have all these people that already had names, and they're making us care less.
Exactly. Like, for example, Sasha, Bayley. Sasha and Bayley were the two most over people in my mind when they came over from NXT. Sasha in 2015, Bayley in 2016. Sasha and Bayley both became champions on Raw. Great, right? And they were great moments. But Bayley especially has faded off away from the main event picture of the women's division. And I don't understand that.
You know, they did in a really weird way, too.
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't understand that. I don't see the logic. Because, and tell me how you guys would book this, right? Because I'm thinking Bayley should go against Asuka if she comes back, if she comes up to the main roster, or now she should go against the women's champion, Alexa Bliss. What do you guys think?
Well, don't they have Sasha and Bayley next week? And I think Bayley should go over and get another shot at Alexa.
Jake?
I think that's probably what's going to happen, but I don't think Bayley's ready for that. Because she doesn't seem like a threat. Even when she got these victories over Alexa to get that chance, she hasn't really. She's kind of gotten her butt whooped, and she doesn't come off as any of a change. Because I mean, the big downfall for Bayley was at Extreme Rules, right, where she wasn't shown.
Yeah, that kendo stick on a pole match. She didn't do nothing.
Pole match where Alexa made her look like a little joke, but she hasn't redeemed herself from that. Mm-hmm. There's supposed to be redemption there. She hasn't done it.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I should care.
Right.
I should care about Alexa. I kind of want her to beat her butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Extreme Rules was a big disappointment for Bayley in terms of, look, I understand Bayley's gimmick. I understand what she's doing, but if they're gonna put her in a kendo stick match, she needs to use the kendo stick.
She didn't use it once.
Exactly.
And I'm okay with that if they build on that. They dropped it. After that, they dropped it, because if they would have built on that and said, I can't do it this way, I can't do it this way, and you continue to build that story where Alexa continues to push her, and Bayley all of a sudden decides for herself, you know what? I need to do this, and it's not because I want to hurt people, it's because I'm trying to defend my legacy or the way I look at children, or I can't let them down. That would have been nice. And then she does it, I don't want to do this, but I feel like I have to. That would have been a great way to develop character in Bayley, but instead she didn't do it, and they dropped it.
Yeah, right.
The last thing you remember Bayley is being like, I don't hit people with kendo sticks.
Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to do it. But if you don't do it, you're going to lose your championship.
Right. Well,
and
look at John Cena. Cena's the one that children look up to. You got to hustle, loyalty, and respect.
Exactly.
But he'll beat your butt.
It's just, I don't understand it. I don't understand why they did that, to be honest. I just, she can have this hug gimmick, this huggable gimmick. I think it works. People may not like it. I personally do. But, she needs to have a bit of a mean streak in her. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
And she did in NXT. She had a great mean streak.
Right, which is why people fell in love with her.
Right. That made her more than anything with her and Sasha.
Oh, God, that match at NXT Brooklyn. The
Yeah,
first one.
it's still a classic.
Amazing. I still go back and watch that. But, yeah, it's just... I think Bayley needs to find some more aggression to her character. She needs to... I wouldn't say be a heel, but she needs to be more aggressive.
Right.
In her approach. Switching gears now to SmackDown. Battleground is this Sunday. What are you guys thinking for predictions?
The prison match, I'm going with Ginger.
Why?
This is I don't think Orton's ever been in a prison match. So in a Punjabi prison match, and this is Jinder's match. So he seems to know it better than Orton does, even though they did go over the rules.
No, they did, but I think Jinder is obviously he's going to have the advantage. But you know, the good thing about that match that I'm thinking of is that the Singh brothers won't be involved. So he's going to have to do it on his own, and I think that will help Jinder more than anything.
Right.
What do you think, Jake?
I think the same thing. I think Jinder's probably going to win the match, and he should, because the last two victories over Orton have been with help, and it's kind of like they did with Carmella, how you thought, well, she can't win the Money in the Bank by herself because Ellsworth got it for her, and then they did the match again. They banned Ellsworth, and she still won. Exactly. I think it's the same thing because that established Carmella as someone that can do it on her own. I think that's what they're going to do with Jinder in the same way.
Yeah, because I mean, and we talked about this earlier on another podcast, I believe, on the first episode, I believe, that if Jinder is going to be a main event star for SmackDown, even after he loses the championship, he needs to be able to win this match on Sunday on his own to prove that he can do it, as Jake said, so that eventually when he does lose the title, people still believe that he's a main event star. You know, it's just that's the only way it's going to go. What about the other matches? Cena and Rusev flag match.
I'm going with Cena.
Jake.
I think Rusev's gonna win. I think it's gonna be a nice welcome back match because Cena doesn't necessarily need it, and I think Cena's at a point where he can start putting over some other people, and Rusev is someone that you need to be pushing up to be one of the top heels. You really do.
Agreed. I don't want Cena to win this either. I mean, I like John. He's a great wrestler, and I think he gets a lot of crap from other people. And
undeserved too. I think he's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Wrestler.
Undeserved, completely unfounded. They have this idea of what they think he's like in their heads, and they refuse to go away from it.
Right.
So, but no, I agree with you. I think Rusev needs to win this match because he's been out for a long time. He had some kind of an injury, missed WrestleMania. This is his first major match back. He needs to establish himself on SmackDown, and this is the perfect way to do it.
Right.
What about Kevin Owens and AJ Styles?
Oh, I like the belt on Styles.
Jake?
I think Styles is going to keep it.
Yep.
I think there's a lot still to do with that. We'll just have to see what they do. But I think AJ needs to keep it. I think it's on the right person. I really hope that they keep up the idea of him doing the open challenge again because I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, I like the open challenges.
Yeah, so do I. That was a very unique thing to do with the US title, and it made it must see. It made the championship must see.
Wrestling.
Yeah, like every week, even when Cena did it when he won the title, every week. Who's going to take the challenge up now? Who's going to be? And it was a great way to introduce Sami Zayn to the main roster until he got injured.
Right.
So, it should be a really good match. And I think, potentially, tell me what you guys think, but I think it could steal the show.
It could. If they pull out all their tricks.
Right.
Yep.
because Kevin Owens and AJ Styles, we've seen them wrestle before, not in WWE, but we've seen them wrestle before. They can have a great match on any given night. They just need to have appropriate time to do it. I'm thinking about 20, 25 minutes. What do you guys think, time-wise, for that match?
I think it should be pretty long.
Yeah.
I think it should 20, 25 minutes sounds about right.
Yeah.
About 20, 25, yeah.
It should be a great show, Battleground in general. And I don't really understand, the fans' idea of, Battleground's going to be terrible. Have you seen the card? It's all I read on the internet.
But it hasn't even happened yet. How do you know it's going to be terrible?
Exactly.
Well, it's because they're predicting, and that's the thing that the wrestling community needs to get out of, is relying on predictions and all. Well, this is going to happen. If that does, it sucks. So they're like, it's going to suck because this is going to happen, and then it doesn't happen, and you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, how many times does that happen?
But they look silly anyway, though.
Yeah, they do.
Because all they do is complain and moan and just cast aspersions on the cards, and they don't really have any idea of what it's going to be, of what the match is going to be like. So it's like the Jason Jordan Kurt Angle storyline. Oh my god, it's terrible. It's a complete letdown. People have these imaginations of what they think should work and what they think should be on the show, and when that doesn't happen, they get upset.
Well, you know what they're doing with that right now, don't you? The Mike and Maria Kanellis. Yeah. They have hardly done anything, and as soon as their feet touch the ramp at I don't know what was it?
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. And as soon as they came out, there were people on there. Oh, this gimmick's stupid. They've had all of maybe a minute and a half of TV time, and like, this gimmick's gonna blow. This is dumb. And they haven't even given it time to breathe.
Exactly.
It's because they think they know what they're gonna do, which is a very arrogant way of thinking.
It's ignorant as well, because you don't know. You're not part of the creative team. You're not part of any kind of decision making whatsoever. How do you know what they're going to do with it?
Right.
And just to pick up on that point, Jake, I also hear or see people rather talk about, why are they using Mike Kanellis instead of Mike Burnett? Well, you don't.
Yeah, why are they?
Yeah, well, you don't, because he's not. That Mike Burnett is not. He's not established.
No.
Exactly.
You're going to take that name, and they're not going to expect people to know who Mike Bennett is, let alone a superstar. But people know who Maria Kanellis is. If you're a WWE person, I grew up with Maria. So we know who she is, and I like the idea of him being second to her in a way, like this kind of Mark Marrow Sable kind of thing.
Yes, that's exactly what. Yeah. Because let's put it this way: Maria is known to WWE, known to the fans, known to the audience. So let Mike Burnett piggyback off her notoriety.
Right. Yep. And I think that's a great idea.
Exactly. But people are bashing it on the internet, saying, "Oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's not going to work. Oh, it's this." Yeah. How do you know that when you haven't even given it a chance to breathe, as Jake said? Yeah. So it's just terrible.
No, the only thing I have about them is the name Kanellis is a little too close to my last name.
Well, she could be your distant cousin, Elio.
Hey, that's true.
She could be, Mike Canella. That could be like a distinct. You could be, you could be, the Jason Jordan Kurt Angle storyline. Point 2.
See, that's also a little too close to my name, because my middle name is Michael.
Nah.
Oh gosh.
But that's a whole other story.
Right, and it should be awesome. It should be a good gimmick. It should be a good thing to do. Good storyline to have. But I just think people need to give it a chance.
But have they been on TV since Money in the Bank? Because I see, or have I just been missing them?
They've been on SmackDown every week.
Okay, maybe I just been missing them then.
Maybe fast forward the segments or something.
they didn't really show it on the feed that I'm using. I don't know.
Well, they've been feuding with Sami Zayn, which I mean that's a good feud to have. I was a little bummed at how they made Mike look last night. They made him look a little weak. I would have liked him to see.
I didn't like that either. Yeah, I agree with you there.
You knew what they were going to do as soon as Sammy started pummeling on him. I'm like, I guarantee he's going to pummel on him to the very end. Sammy's going to go for his finisher. He's going to duck, and Mike's going to hit his finisher, and then it's going to be over. He's going to have all of one move, and no one's going to say anything. They're going to be like, okay, is he good? I don't know.
Yeah, and you have another SummerSlam match right there.
Oh, absolutely. That SummerSlam match, Mike Burnett and Sami Zayn, it would be awesome. I would not be opposed, and you guys might disagree, tell me what you think, but I would not be opposed if Mike Burnett didn't wrestle until SummerSlam. And they just had him have little segments like the ones we've seen with Sami Zayn, just because to build his anticipation to his WWE debut. What do you guys think?
Well, they could have done that if they didn't have a match yesterday.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I'm sorry.
They did. Yeah, it was Sami Zayn and Mike Bennett or Mike Kanellis.
And that was the match I was talking about. How they made him look very meh. So it would have been nice, but they kind of they screwed the pooch on it.
They screwed that up.
Yeah.
Guys, we have about 10 minutes left on this show. So one of the last things I want to get to is the Mae Young Classic tournament. The tapings have already begun. They will air on the network August 28th, I believe.
Right.
Who stands out to you guys in this tournament? Roughly, just without seeing any matches so far.
Oh wow! Well, even the names, even just a list of names, like I can't really think of any one name off the top of my head. I like I want to see Tessa Blanchard. Then there's what's her name? That Gonzalez one.
Oh, right. What was her name?
Reina, I think her name.
Reina, I think that was her name. I think Reina was her name. Yes.
That's Rudy Boy Gonzalez's daughter.
Right.
And then there's Lance Storm's daughters in there as well.
Yeah, I think one of the people I'm looking forward to seeing is Bianca Belair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think because I've seen some of her work in NXT, and she needs a bit more aggressiveness to her, in my opinion. But I think this is her time to stand out in this tournament. So I've got my eye on her in the tournament, and I think she should go far. Jake, what about you?
I think there's a lot of people that have a really good chance. Now, as far as Tessa Blanchard goes, I would love to see her go far. But in the first round, she's going up against Kairi Sane, who's the favorite to win the whole thing. And that was a little bit of a bummer for me. I'm like, oh no!
I don't know why they already posted the spoilers and all the results.
I'm just looking at the bracket.
No, I'm saying I don't know why because I saw the spoilers and the results
Yeah,
all the way up to the finals. No, I didn't even I just glanced. I didn't even look carefully, but I don't know why they post that when it hasn't even aired yet.
Yeah,
who did that? Ian, who did that?
It was on the website. It was posted on the website, and then the people also posted it in the Facebook group, which the post got deleted. The post got deleted by the administrators.
Right. So there's a thing in that group saying don't post any results for people who don't want to know. Right. So why do you do that on the website then?
They get a rise out of it.
Yeah.
Now I think a person that is going to surprise a lot of people is Shayna Baszler.
Yes. Who
as soon as I saw her in there, I'm like, that's interesting, because she's one of the four horsewomen of MMA. She was there with Ronda Rousey and
there was that standoff too between the four horsewomen of MMA and the four horsewomen of NXT.
She's one of the four horsewomen of MMA. I think she's. I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't go to the very end, because
that's it. Book that match for SummerSlam.
Book it.
Well, I think Shayna versus Kyrie, there's a lot of money in that because Kyrie is just is the face. She's incredibly cute, but she's a fantastic wrestler. You got Shayna, who I'm going to be completely honest, is a little man looking. She's a beast, and I think pushing her as kind of a monster heel with more of a fighting background would be really nice. Now, I think those two are going to be to the finals, but there's two other ones that that really stood out to me when I was watching the parade. One was Piper Niven, who
I like her as well. Yeah,
she was one of the heavier set women, and I don't know, something about her. I think she's going to be a ton of fun, and I think she's going to be kind of not like Nia, but I think she's going to do better than a lot of people think she's going to do.
Definitely.
If you've seen her work in ICW, she's good. Now there's one, I don't know if they're going to give her a ton of time, but Jazzy Gabbert, who was the German female, they call her the alpha female.
Yeah.
She stood out to me like the second she came on the screen. Me and my wife were like, whoa.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, she's huge. And if the rumors are anything to go by, I heard the crowd was hugely into her.
So there was a pop?
I heard there was the same thing that they did for Cedric. And
wow.
They chanted, please sign Jazzy.
Wow.
She got over very well.
If WWE is smart, and they are, they should listen to that and sign her up.
She'd be great for WWE too. She's perfect.
Yeah.
And then there's the other ones that you expect to be pretty good. There's Toni Storm. Toni Storm's going to go pretty far. Yeah. Hold on, Candice LeRae.
Yeah.
I think Candice is going to go far. If you've seen any of her work, she's Johnny Gargano's wife.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yep. And she's going to go far. She does a lot of great indie work.
Yeah. Jake, sorry guys, I don't mean to cut you off, but we have less than a minute. So
no worries.
I have to wrap up. I want to thank Jake and Elia for being my guest, for being on the show. And this podcast will air on Friday at our regular YouTube channel. And we'll be back next week. And Jake, thanks for being on the show. And we'd love to have you on soon.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.
Take care. Bye. Bye.